Hi Wanderers, I'm Ron.
And I'm Amanda, and this is Wanderlust.
This is Military Chatter, and we're going to be doing some question and answer today.
This is for our PCS series that we've been doing. If you've missed any of those videos, there is a playlist that I will link above, and then you can start with episode number 1 and get all caught up to where we are right now. So I've got some questions over here that you guys left on all the previous videos about PCSing, and so we're just going to answer. So here we go. Question number 1 came from New Horizons, and she said, how many times have you moved altogether?
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is our 5th duty station. So we have moved, well, I guess, so including moving the first time, so we've moved 5 times that have been military moves. I was a civilian pastor before, and so we moved a couple times that. We moved ourselves. Now that we're in the military pays a moving company to pack our boxes and move our stuff, and it is fabulous.
It sure is.
And people will sometimes say there's a mixed track record sometimes, because you can get maybe a moving company that doesn't do such a good job. We've been very blessed. We've lost minimal things to damage, or there's been some surface damage to stuff, and we've always had no problem going through the military system to get the fixes or to get reimbursed for those sorts of things. But we've been really blessed with it, and if you've ever moved yourself, you learn real fast that having people come do it for you is a really nice thing.
And I think this time was the first time we had something expensive broken, and that was the washing machine. But that was in storage. Right, that came from storage, which is a whole nother thing when you're PCSing overseas. So we will get into that as we get there. Okay, our second question, and it's not exactly a question, but it came from Nivasi, and this person was saying what RIP meant, the RIP. That we were talking about a RIP, like when you're about to get your assignment, or when you're getting an assignment, but it's not the full, like,
it's
official.
Not orders, it's a notification.
It's not orders, it's a notification. So what RIP means is relief in place, and it almost always goes with TOA. So they say RIP TOA.
RIP TOA, yeah.
And TOA part is transfer of authority. And so that is what I found when I initially did the research. If you've seen our videos, you see that we say an acronym and then I pop up what that acronym stands for. And for this case, we were like, we don't know what this kind of RIP is. Like, I think that means, like, I don't know what I think it means. But do you think that's the same kind of RIP that they're talking about?
Yeah,
relief in place?
It's saying that this thing is saying that you're theoretically, because it never actually works like that, but because you've got your assignment that for someone that's the relief in place, and the TOA is a transfer of authority, so you're transferring from one command or one unit or whatever to another. So yeah, that the relief, as in you're being relieved from this billet,
right,
being transferred to another billet.
Right, and so so I did find that when I was looking through there, but I wasn't quite sure that was the same RIP that we were talking about, so I didn't put it on there. And then Navasi wrote in the comments and said what RIP and TOA stood for. So that is what I should have put up the first time we did the video. Right. Okay, our next question is from Happy Place Diaries, and they said, how long have you been in the Air Force?
So I've been in the Air Force a total of, in June it'll be 15 years. I did 2 years as a reservist before I was an ordained elder in the United Methodist Church, and so I was able to serve in the reserves. And then, actually, the month that I was ordained, I went on active duty, and we've been 13 years on active duty.
Okay, so our next question is from Extraordinary Journey, and they say, how long until retirement?
Well, my answer, when people ask, and they actually ask this an awful lot, is that one, there's 2 conditions. One, God tells us to do something different, so to get out and go and do. Of course, it needs to at least hit 20 at this point. Right. But post 20, if God says for us to go do something different, or the Air Force throws us out kicking and screaming, because I love the lifestyle, I love the opportunities that it gives us, and I love my ministry. I absolutely do.
I like everything about it except the unknown of it. Like, we know we're going somewhere, but we don't know where. And I like that part of it, and I also don't like that part of it. So I'm ready to be in charge of where we go and where we, like, I don't want to stay. I'm not trying to retire so that we can stay in one spot.
In fact, we'll be more mobile.
And in fact, we will be more mobile in the RV. But I'm just ready to be in charge of where we go and what we do. More than we are right now. But I mean, I am definitely going to enjoy the next however many years, 5 to 7 years.
To 10.
Okay.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. The next question is from Bigger Behind the Trigger, and he says, are you still in the Air Force?
Yes.
And where are we?
We are currently in the Black Hills of South Dakota at Ellsworth Air Force Base.
That's right. Okay, and then the last question, it's not really just one question, but from the last YouTube channel that asked us a question is from Eat, Sleep, RV, Repeat. It's Lou and Angie, and they ask, tell about your AFSC, and have you changed it?
Okay. Now,
Did I say AFSC?
AFSC, that's right. What I noticed is you left out the part that they also said MOS, which gives away that they're not sure how they are, how we describe it. So,
right.
MOS, AFSC, same thing, different acronyms depending on your branch. For Army, MOS, your military occupational specialty.
I'm going to have to put more boxes up here.
You'll be all right. But in the Air Force, we call that our Air Force Specialty Code, AFSC. So my AFSC is a 52 Romeo 3, which is a chaplain. So all chaplains are the what we call a 52 series. So if you explore this at all, officers in the Air Force, it's a 2-digit number and then a letter is what they are. So because they're so close to us, to know that JAGs are 51. So we are a 52 Romeo, 52R, and so and that's what I've been the whole time. I'm not prior enlisted. I was not in as an officer, and then came back in as a chaplain. I came straight in as a chaplain, as a direct commission, and that's all I've ever done in the Air Force.
And that happens a little bit differently. Like he said, JAGs are kind of in the same boat, and doctors or medical stuff. Who are all the ones that went to school down there with you?
Well,
they don't do that anymore?
They just changed that. So it used to be that there were a couple. Well, I mean, this is new information, but also that there are still some differences. So used to at officer training school, you had basic officer training. That were all people who were going through to earn their enlistment. So people who were not their enlistment, their commission. So people who either were prior enlisted or they're coming straight out of college and they're going through, and at the end of basic officer training, BOT as we called it, they would earn their second lieutenant bars.
So they hadn't worked in their job. Like they were literally right out of
Correct.
college. Okay.
Right out of college or coming over from enlisted and going to be an officer now. So also under OTS you had COT, Commissioned Officers Training, and that was specifically
entirely too many new acronyms.
You're
that they don't know.
All up on this place. Commissioned Officers Training, which was for chaplains, for legal, and for medical, because those three career fields, AFSCs, we come in as a direct commission. So when I entered the Air Force, I came in. Before I went to officer training, I was a first lieutenant. I already had my commission. And that's because those career fields are what we come in as is based upon our education and our experience.
Right, because I was shocked that there was somebody in your group that was coming into the Air Force and she had been like a dentist, or I mean, she was a dentist,
right.
But she already had been working in her own practice for years, and she came in as a lieutenant colonel.
Yes.
And I remember thinking, that is an amazing amount of pressure, because when they see lieutenant colonel, they expect you to have a certain amount of experience in the military, and you're coming in brand new. I mean, you have experience as a dentist, but not as a military.
Absolutely, we run into the same. It's not an issue, but the same challenge for chaplains, because especially in the Air Force, we're chaplains for a very long time, for about 10 years of our career. We're captains. But you don't know if that's a 6-month captain or a 6-year captain. And there's a vast difference in military experience, no matter how good a pastor you are of your military experience. So that's the way it used to be. And so yes, doctors, so medical, legal, and chaplain all come in as a direct commission. We come in with our commission. Now, on the training side of things, they now have gone to, instead of having BOT and COT, there's TFOT.
Nice.
Total Force Officer Training School. So everybody goes through that. It's about an 8.5-week course now. There's some specialized off-ramping for those 3 career fields that used to be go through COT, but now it's all one pipeline for officers.
Okay, well, I guess we won't talk about that in a separate video because we just did. So here are some other questions from Lou and Angie. How long have you been in? We already answered that one. Did you always want to join? And hold on, their last question is, are you doing 20 and getting out? We've already answered that one. So, did you always want to join?
No. What? Yeah, the easy answer is no. Actually, we just told this story today at lunch with some friends. I was a civilian pastor and went to my church's annual conference in 2003, I think. And a mentor of mine, Bubba Smith, because I'm from Arkansas, of course it's Bubba, said, you need to be an Air Force chaplain. And I'm like, I'm good, thanks, man. But that was the 3rd time in my life that someone else had said, you need to serve in the military. When I was graduating high school, about midway through college, and then now. So I basically kind of went back and said, God, you keep bringing this up for some reason. And so we prayed about it, we kind of wrestled with it. And
So he had to go handle something in the kitchen right quick. When he first said that he wanted to join the military, my question was, are we gonna move? Because that was my question when he said he was gonna be a pastor. I'm like, are we gonna move around? And he was like, yeah. And I said, all over the country? And he's like, no, all over Arkansas. And I was like, oh. I mean, I love Arkansas, but I wanted to go somewhere else. So when he said, I'm thinking that I need to join the military, and I said, are we gonna move? And he's like, yeah. And I said, outside of Arkansas? And he was like, yes. And so I was ready.
But that wasn't until I went active duty, because first we thought we were just going to do the reserves, which would have kept us in Arkansas. But I got down to COT and was like, this is where I belong.
And everybody was going through that, even though he was going to be in the reserves. He was still going through. And then he called back one night, like 2 days in, and he was like, if this continues like it is, I think this is what I am supposed to be doing forever. And so we hung up, and I thought, oh, so, okay, like, I think I had a little kid, a little baby.
Yeah.
A little one, and I thought, oh, we're gonna be able to move if he goes full time. And he said yes, and so we said yes, and that's what we did.
Yeah. And here we are.
Yeah, 13 years later.
Yeah. 13 years, 5 duty stations.
Almost 6.
Yeah. Soon.
Right. So that is all the questions that we got on our PCS series so far. And next Tuesday, we're starting a different series that is called Traveling in the Military. So we will see you guys next week with that.
Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications.
Bye, guys.